Hello AWS community. I am Jaimit, serverless developer at Serverless Guru and AWS community builder. Welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to demonstrate AWS Lambda function URL mapping to custom domain using Amazon CloudFront and Amazon Route 53. AWS Lambda function URL is a recently launched new feature of AWS Lambda that will allow us to build a Lambda API by adding a function URL to specific Lambda like new or existing Lambda. So in this session, I will give a full demo of how AWS Lambda function URL get mapped to your custom domain by using these different services like AWS Lambda function URL, Amazon CloudFront, Amazon Route 53, and some other contexts. I will use the GoDaddy's custom domain, real-time live domain to map with AWS Lambda function URL by using CloudFronts. So here is the complete architecture I will going to demonstrate in this demo. Say for example, we will create one Lambda function, and that Lambda function have a added a function URL for that Lambda function that will be publicly accessible, so that generally when we add a function URL to Lambda function, we are able to call a Lambda function by using this kind of URL pattern, like there is a URL ID and Lambda URL and then region and that specific on.ws. So this is a recently launched new feature of AWS Lambda function URL, that so with any existing or new Lambda we are able to attach function URL. So what we will do is, like, we will create Lambda and add a function URL to that Lambda, but that will accessible through a specific URL only, like that Lambda URL. But in this demo I am going to demonstrate like how you can use your own custom domain to call this kind of Lambda function like www.example.com. Say for example, user accessing www.example.com, so it will give a whatever response Lambda is returning in the response, instead of using AWS Lambda function URL directly. So what we will do is, like, we will create one Lambda function with AWS Lambda function URL that will be like public accessible URL, and then after on top of that we will create CloudFront distribution. So in origin of that CloudFront distribution we will set this Lambda function URL so that that CloudFront distribution will help to access that Lambda as a part of that CloudFront distribution. So CloudFront is kind of like a global content delivery service, which will be a very good service for protection, for delivering the fast response through a low latency by using different edge location. So say for example, someone doing some request to CloudFront and returning some data, so next time it will be so from nearest edge location. So it is a really good service for low latency as well as good protection and security. So here we will have a CloudFront distribution domain as soon as we map the CloudFront distribution with Lambda function, but we are want to use a custom domain in our demo case. So on top of that CloudFront distribution, what we will do is, like, say for example, we have purchased the domain from GoDaddy or some other provider. So that www.example.com whatever domain that in Route 53, that is a DNS mapping service. So in Route 53 we will create one hosted zone, and that hosted zone in hosted zone we will get the NS record, so that those NS record we will map within a particular provider like GoDaddy or any other provider, that with our domain we will map that name server records, and whatever CloudFront distribution domain that we will map with the our real custom domain by using Route 53 array code. Okay, and a certificate manager we will map with the CloudFront for an HTTP content delivery. So this is the architecture of overall architecture I will fully going to demonstrate in this particular session. So at the end of this session you will easily get idea like how you can access the how you can get the Lambda response by calling custom domain like www.example.com, whatever your own domain, instead of calling the Lambda function URL pattern. uh, Okay, so these are the step I already mentioned. Like I will go step by step like this. Like we will create one Lambda with the public function URL, then we will create CloudFront distribution, and also we will create the public SSL certificate that will attach with the CloudFront. And I will have a one custom domain already available, so I will use my custom domain in this case to demonstrate a real-time demo. I have a GoDaddy's custom domain, so I will use that. And this also, like I will show you how you can map this record in the Route 53 for domain. Okay, so let's quickly jump into the demo now. Okay, so here I have I am logging into the AWS console. So let me first create a Lambda function. So in this service in compute you can access the Lambda, or you can directly search here Lambda. Click on the Lambda from this services section and click on create function. You can create a function from scratch. So for now let me give a function name, say for example Lambda URL. We are implementing function URL custom domain, so let me give a Lambda URL custom domain demo. Okay, for now, like reference purpose. And here I'm choosing the runtime NodeJs for now. You can select your own runtime if you want to follow along. And in advanced setting, this new feature is available, like AWS Lambda function URL. So I'm going to use this as a part of this demo, because we are mapping function URL with our custom domain as a part of this full demo. So I will enable function URL for this Lambda function, and I'm giving I'm for now not giving any authentication, so that will be publicly mapped with the CloudFront distribution later. And I'm creating that function. Okay, so this will create a Lambda function with function URL attached to that particular Lambda without any authentication. So here you can see like this new demo Lambda function is created, and also function URL is added for this particular Lambda. So if you can see in configuration also, you are able to see in function URL like this function URL is mapped without any authentication for now. So if you click on this link, you will see like default response hello from Lambda at the moment. Okay, so if we go to the code, this is a default Node.js handler. It is just giving a hello from Lambda in the response. So for now let me paste some code, so that will return some HTML, or for now like I'm giving one some static kind of response, static page kind of response, web page kind of response in the Lambda for a reference. So I have this just ready-made things. I mean like we are only just changing this body, other things are as it is. So I'm I'm just updating this code in as a part of Lambda. So in response we are giving status code 200 as it is. In header we are adding content type text HTML, and in body I am giving this HTML section just to just to return a web page kind of things in the response, so at least we will get idea when we call our Lambda function. Okay, for a demo perspective. So let me deploy this for now. So now if we access this URL, we can see like I'm printing this HTML for now in the response as a text HTML. So this content type text HTML, so it is printing HTML format. I just printed some text like hello AWS community and web page running on Lambda function access using custom domain. Okay, so for now we are accessing this Lambda URL, but later I will use this domain. Like I have this domain topfreecourse.com. So right now you can see this domain not returning anything in the response, means it is not used and mapped with anything. So I'm trying to refresh it, but it is giving this site cannot not be reached. Okay, because it is not mapped at the moment with any website or any web page. So later we will make this running and it will display this same Lambda response by when we call this real topfreecourse.com domain that is on GoDaddy. Okay, so here you can see like at the end we will achieve this like AWS Lambda function URL mapping to GoDaddy's custom domain using Amazon CloudFront and Route 53. So right now this is Lambda URL giving this response, Lambda response, but this our real custom domain will give this same response at the end of the demo. Okay, so here we are done with creating one Lambda function along with the function URL. Okay, and that function URL is already working as we cross check. Now I'm going for second step. I'm going to create a CloudFront distribution. For this, let me open in the new tab so we will get a easy idea. So I'm searching the CloudFront on. So CloudFront is a global content delivery service, and that is used for low latency, is location based content delivery, as well as good security things and WAF and all those things. So let me create CloudFront distribution. So in CloudFront distribution we need to give origin, like which particular uh, service we want to map with this CloudFront distribution to deliver the content through like CloudFront distribution domain. Okay, so here in origin domain these different options are available like S3 and load balancer and all those things, but this is a recent launch feature, this AWS Lambda function URL. Okay, so this AWS Lambda function URL is recent launch feature, and that is also supported by this CloudFront distribution. When we are creating CloudFront distribution in origin, now this this Lambda function URL also gets supported. So now we are mapping this already created Lambda function with CloudFront distribution which we are creating. So what you have to do is like you have to copy this function URL and you have to just paste in origin domain, and you just only need to remove this HTTPS portion as well as last slash. So exactly you need to give this like without HTTPS and slash at the last, and you need to select this. So it will select in origin domain, it will select the Lambda function URL which is already created, and in protocol we are giving HTTPS for now. So these are the just different setting to access it, and we are using default SSL support for now, like version. And this is a CloudFront distribution name. So for now let us give a same name whatever we given for this demo, Lambda URL custom domain demo. So this is a CloudFront distribution and name we are giving here. And this is a CloudFront distribution also giving us different options like to protect by using sealed, and there are some other options also like if there is any timeout and connection atom things like. So that there are some different settings available, like if response not coming from origin, then after this particular second it will be get timeout, and it will try 3 times. If origin not available, then after it will go for timeout. Those kind of this we are keeping that default for now. And this here we are putting like redirect HTTP to HTTPS. So as soon if someone trying to access HTTP, it will redirect to HTTPS. Other setting we are keeping same. And yeah, the setting we are keeping same as it is for now. We are also able to enable WAF if we want for a protection purpose, like spam bot or something. uh, this as SSL certificate we will map, or later we will update the distribution again. Okay, so right now we did not created it, so let me create this distribution. So uh, it will always, this CloudFront distribution is taking few minutes to get it up. You can see like status is deploying, so it will take some time to get deployed. So after that, as soon as it is ready, we are able to access this domain. Okay, right now it is saying same as this our real custom domain, this CloudFront distribution domain. This is a cloudfront.net, that some ID and then cloudfront.net is, this site is not reachable because this distribution creation process is under deploying. Okay, so as soon as it is done, we are able to see this same response. Whatever lambda URL, lambda function you are returning, that same will return by this CloudFront uh, domain. Okay, CloudFront distribution domain. So this will take few minutes. Meanwhile it is get deployed. Let us follow further step. uh, So let us create let us first create once so, let me do one thing. First let me go to the route 53. Meanwhile this uh, CloudFront distribution get ready. I will create one in route 53. We will create one hosted zone. That hosted zone will require to map our custom domain with our CloudFront distribution. Okay, through a records and some other stuff. So let me create a hosted zone in the route 53. Here we need to give our custom domain, like whatever domain you having, you need to give that domain here, and you need to create a public hosted zone. Okay, so for now what I am doing is I have this domain already. So topfreecourse.com. So I am giving this domain in this domain name. And for now in description I am giving like uh, okay, lambda function URL custom domain demo and public hosted zone. This is I'm creating public hosted zone, and if we are within a network like VPC, then we are also able to create private, but for now public hosted zone. So you have to give your domain, and then you have to create your public hosted zone. Okay, so it will give us a NS and SOA record. So that is important for mapping any provider's domain with route 53. So this you can see like top free, this is my custom domain, and here NS means name server, and SOA record is auto created as soon as we added hosted zone. Now what we need to do is like we have purchased domain, this custom domain from some third party, say for example GoDaddy or any other third party. Then we need to map this route 53 DNS record on that particular third party host uh, uh, portal, so that we are able to map this particular custom domain with the route 53 for a further mapping process. Okay, so let me open that third party as well. So I'm going to GoDaddy because have that domain from there. So you have to go to your products. uh, you have to go to your products, and in products you need to select your domain. And after selecting your domain, there will be a managed domain. In managed domain, once you go to the managed domain, this is a specific case for GoDaddy provider to update a name server. But if any other provider, then similar kind of process, you need to update name server for your custom domain. So whenever you add a hosted zone within a route 53, you need to create a hosted zone within a route 53. So you will, for your domain, custom domain, so you will automatically get this name server. So that you need to update in your third-party provider. Okay. So after going to products and your domain, in DNS there will be a manage zones. So in manage zones, you need to select your domain. So after searching your domain, you can see, like here you will see name servers. So that you need to update this name server entry. Generally it is default one. So far I was tried some demo, so it is previously set value, but I will change this as per the latest value. If you are if you have a hosting on GoDaddy itself, then you just only need to set the default GoDaddy's name servers. Okay, but in this case what we are doing is domain is from GoDaddy side, but we are hosting on AWS through Lambda. So we have a route 53 NS record we need to map instead of default GoDaddy's name server. If we have hosting on it and GoDaddy itself, then we need to use default name server of GoDaddy itself. Okay. So here we are mapping our custom name server from route 53. Okay. So I'm entering my own name server. So let me for now delete this, and let me copy this one by one in my third-party provider where my domain topfreecost.com domain is registered. So all four name servers I am mapping here. So that way your custom domain will map with route 53. So let me save it. It will ask for a confirmation. Sometime it is taking a time to get it mapped. So this my custom domain is mapping with our route 53 name server on our provider like GoDaddy I'm using. So that is my provider. I'm doing continue, so it will map name servers. It will map route 53 hosted zone name server with my custom domain on that third-party GoDaddy providers. Okay, so it is done. Now we have mapped the name server. So it is now our third-party update process is done. Okay, so now let us cross check. We will come back to this step again. And let us cross check CloudFront distribution is done or not. Yeah, now it's showing like last modified. So just before it was deploying, right? But now it is already deployed. So now this CloudFront distribution, like this is a CloudFront distribution domain. CloudFront distribution domain. Now this domain should be accessible, because as before it was giving can't reachable, but now it should show the same output Lambda is returning, which is showing in response of Lambda function URL. Okay. Yeah, so now this our CloudFront distribution. This is a CloudFront domain. CloudFront distribution domain is returning the Lambda function response, same as like Lambda function URL was returning, because we already map our CloudFront distribution with the origin as a Lambda function URL. Okay, so now we have done with half of the flow of our architecture, like we like our CloudFront distribution domain is returning our Lambda function response. But now next step is we want to achieve like our custom domain, this top free course. Right now it is giving our custom domain giving can't reachable. This should also return this same response after our full demo is done. Okay, so okay, so this CloudFront distribution is already uh, running. So now we have to we are already created our we already map these hostage on already map these hostage on names name server with the our third party provider. Now let us create a certificate this let us create a certificate that we need to map with CloudFront. So let me go to certificate manager. Just a moment. Before that, let me just cross check one thing. Okay, so let me go to the certificate manager, uh, and we will create one certificate for CloudFront distribution. We will attach this certificate to the CloudFront distribution for HTTP access to our domain. And when we are attaching any certificate certificate to CloudFront distribution, it is always compulsory to create these SSL certificate in US East 1 region. Okay, so remember that. So I am moving right now I am in AP South 1, so I am moving to ES East 1 and creating this certificate. Otherwise it will not display during updating the distribution. Okay, CloudFront distribution. So now what I am doing is I am creating a certificate in US East 1 region. That is a requirement for CloudFront distribution. I will show in that step when I will update the CloudFront distribution. So let me request certificate. Request a public certificate for a SSL HTTP access. So here we need to give a full qualified domain name. So what we will give is whatever custom domain you have. Right now I having this domain, so I am giving it. You can give whatever real custom domain you having. I am giving you real time demo. This is my real domain. So here I am giving a full qualified domain name like whatever topfreecourse.com, and in also add another domain to this certificate. So here what I am doing is I am doing wildcard for subdomain like www.xyz.com like that. So what I am doing is star dot, so it is kind of like wildcard for a subdomain like topfreecourse.com, then www.topfreecourse.com. So that way we will access it will this same certificate will apply for other subdomain case. Okay, uh, so here we are done with adding this domain for generating the certificate as a public certificate. We will select a DNS validation as it is a recommended setting default, and I will request for a public certificate. So it will take some time. So you can see like pending validation, and so let us go to after creating after requesting for certificate in the certificate manager in US East 1 region. You need to go into that particular certificate. Generally it will show pending validation, so we need to validate that. So here you can see some CNAME record gets generated uh, for our certificate case. So what we need to do is like after creating a certificate, we need to go in that particular certificate and we need to create record in our Route 53. Okay, so click on that. It will as soon as we create record, it will automatically create CNAME record in our Route 53 for certificate case. So let me go to the Route 53 in side by tab. So here you can see in our hosted zone we already created one hosted zone. So right now we have a in this particular domain we have a two entry NS and SOS SOA. But after following this step, like uh, in this particular created certificate, we will create a record in route 53. So create record. Once we create record, it will auto add that CNAME certificate validate CNAME entry in route 53. Okay, and after that, this certificate will get issued from Amazon. You can see like a pending validation, but soon it will get status changed, like a certificate issued or something. So here you can let us refresh, so we will get idea. You can see like here new CNAME record added. So that is for a validation, ACM validation relevant, so means certificate validation relevant CNAME record. Okay, so after doing this step, let us cross check again like this certificate is issued or not. So it will issue in few minutes. Sometime it's take time. Okay, now you can see like this status in certificate list. This status is issued now instead of pending validation. Okay, so now we have a valid certificate, SSL certificate, public SSL certificate for our custom domain, like for this particular domain, as we already mapped it. So this certificate now we have to add in this domain, and this certificate we need to add in our CloudFront distribution which we already created. Okay, so let us again go back to CloudFront distribution. So whatever CloudFront distribution we created as before, we will edit same, and we will add our custom domain over there. Okay, so add, if you can see like this is add not reachable because add full flow is not done. So this CloudFront distribution, now we are going to update this CloudFront distribution whatever we created as before. So we will edit this CloudFront distribution, and what we will do is we will add this alternate domain name, that is a CNAME. Okay, alternate domain name. What exactly this will do is this alternate CNAME, it will map it will for a custom domain mapping with distribution. So here we will give this our custom domain with this alternate domain name for our CloudFront distribution. Okay, so here we will give that particular only topfreecourse.com, like whatever your custom domain name, and that is optional, but we are giving that. And after that we are need to select here SSL certificate. Okay, so that we already created. Okay, so it will show here which we created in US region. Okay, so that is compulsory. If you can see here like custom SSL certificate, here you can see like certificate must be in US East 1 region. Okay, so if you create in other region, it will not display here as per this requirement. That is why I created this certificate in US East 1 region, even if I am doing demo in AP South 1 region. Okay, so that is you can notice, otherwise you can't see this certificate listed here. So I'm selecting that certificate for our SSL certificate for a particular domain, and whatever default TLS I'm selecting, whatever recommended. There are some advanced options. For now I'm not changing anything. I am changing two things here. That custom domain I am giving because mapping purpose, and I am selecting that certificate I have created for HTTPS SSL, and I am again changing this distribution. So this change will take a few minutes because CloudFront distribution always taking some time to get it updated when we create or updating the distribution. So you can see status last modified showing deploying. So it will take some time until it is get deployed. Okay, so now in CloudFront distribution, what we already did is like we map our Lambda function URL as a origin. If you see in the origin, we have this our Lambda function URL as a origin, and custom like we said, Lambda function URL is a origin, and in custom domain we also set SSL certificate, and we set custom domain, this one. Okay, so that way we will have a mapping for our CloudFront distribution. So as soon as deploying done, meanwhile deployment is done, let us follow the pending step. Like in route 53, let us go back to route 53 again. In route 53, as before, we added one hosted zone, as well as certificate CNAME record. Okay, now we will add a record for our for mapping our custom domain with CloudFront distribution. Okay, so what we will do is we will go to our hosted zone which we already created, and here we will add a type record. Okay, uh, so here we will add a like a create record. So here we will create a type record, route traffic to IPv4 address and some AWS resources. Okay, so there are some different type, like CNAME record is means like there is a domain to domain, route traffic to another domain, or some AWS resources. If we are routing traffic to IP address, then it will be a record. If we are routing traffic to some other domain kind of things, then it will be a CNAME record. Okay, so here we do what we will do is we will create one a type record. So we will go to route 53 in our already created hosted zone, do create record, and we will select a record type. Okay, and then here we will do alias. In alias we will select route traffic to CloudFront distribution. Okay, and in this particular we will select CloudFront distribution which we already created. If you see this our CloudFront distribution, this D29, that same will be displayed here, and that we will select. And so here we will adding a type record to CloudFront distribution, and we are selecting the particular distribution we created, and we are creating a type record in our hosted zone in route 53. So this is a really important step. It will show the status here, like it is also sometime taking few minutes to get it done. So it is showing pending, but soon it is done, it will show a sync in sync. Okay, meanwhile it's so let us check the status of our distribution. It is deploying, so sometime it is taking longer. So let's see whether it is done or not, and meanwhile we can wait for. Okay, yeah, this route 53 a record mapping is done for our CloudFront distribution. In sync status is now. So if you go to the our hosted zone, already created our domain hosted zone, custom domain hosted zone. Now there are 4 records. Okay, so initially we created a hosted zone for this domain, so it was auto creating NS and SOA record. This NS record we map with our third-party provider in name servers. Okay, and then after we created a record in route 53 hosted zone for certificate in between. Okay, for validating certificate, and at the end we added this a type record for IP mapping, like top this domain, our domain custom domain mapping to CloudFront distribution purpose. We added this a record. Okay, so now almost we are done with all the steps. Let us wait for this CloudFront distribution is in done status. So as soon as it is done, hopefully we are able to access our real custom domain with this same Lambda response instead of unreachable. Okay, so wait for a few minutes, and hopefully we will have a complete demo end-to-end working. So meanwhile this status get changed. Let me again walk you through the all step. Okay, so right now we will check this distribution status again after a few minutes. Like right now it's showing deploying in last modified. Okay, so what we have done step, like, so we have followed that same step. If you see in this diagram, uh, if you see in this diagram, we have created Lambda function with function URL. Then we created a CloudFront distribution, and also we created a certificate, SSL certificate in our US East 1 region, and then we map that certificate with our existing CloudFront distribution, and also we map our custom domain with topfreecourse.com custom domain with CloudFront. So we again updated our CloudFront distribution with certificate, SSL certificate, and our custom domain, so that we are able to access this CloudFront distribution through that domain. Uh, and also in we create in route 53 we created a hosted zone. So hosted zone given us some NS records, so that name server record we map with our third party. Like I purchased the topfreecourse.com from GoDaddy, so I copied this whatever NS record generated by route 53 hosted zone. I copies those all four name servers from here route 53 to GoDaddy's website on name server section as a custom domain, custom name servers. Okay, so it will map my www.precourse.com custom domain with route 53 in the hosted zone. After that, also certificate validation is done. That is also generated some CNAME record in hosted zone. And at the end, we what we did is like we added a 1A record for IP mapping. Like our custom domain get mapped with our CloudFront distribution domain through a records. Okay, in an alias mode. So this way we covered full demo. So like as soon as someone do www.freecourse.com or example.com, it will go through route 53 and do the mapping with DNS mapping, and then do call the CloudFront distribution, and it will again do the Lambda function URL call, and it will return whatever the Lambda function response is giving. Now let us go back to our CloudFront distribution demo we created. So now here we can see like CloudFront distribution status is done, like in last modified it's showing exact time, because as before it is showing deploying. So now CloudFront distribution deployment is done, instead of it was showing deploying. So now we are done with all end-to-end step for mapping Lambda function URL with our custom domain through CloudFront and route 53. So if you can see, like as before, our custom domain was giving this site can't be reached, but now we are done with end-to-end creating the resources and needful, done with the doing needful configuration. So now this our real custom domain should return this same response which is returning by Lambda function, I mean Lambda URL. Okay, so now let me refresh this page. So instead of can't reachable, it should give us a Lambda function response. Here we go. So now we are completely done with this full demo. You can see like this is my custom domain topfreecourse.com. So this is really mapped with my Lambda function, because it is returning now same response which is my Lambda is returning, like AWS Lambda function URL map to GoDaddy's custom domain using Amazon CloudFront and Amazon Route 53. So if you go to the Lambda section, it is returning the response whatever returning by our Lambda. I'm in different region. Let me go to EP South one, because I was moved to that during creating certificate. So this is our demo Lambda. You can see in the code we are returning AWS Lambda. This is same line we are seeing in the our custom domain now response. Okay, so let me, for now, here we have like web, this is also URL. So here let me edit something, and we can see like whether it is impacted over there or not. Okay, AWS Lambda function URL. Let us say new feature or something. So here we are just putting one more line, AWS Lambda function URL new feature, and deploying the Lambda. So here you can see like as soon as Lambda deployment done, if we access this Lambda function URL, it will give us a this new line added like AWS Lambda function URL new feature. So it will give us a that's a this Lambda is updated and deployed. So it is giving impact on the spot. Okay, but if we try to access our this domain response, it will not impacted here because that we have that CloudFront cloud distribution. So CloudFront doing caching at each location. Okay, so even if you go to the uh, if you go to the CloudFront distribution domain, uh, it will also not show latest updated Lambda's response. So let me go to the CloudFront distribution domain. So here in sidebar of our custom domain, let me close this. I'm opening that CloudFront distribution domain. Okay, this xyz.cloudfront.net. So it is also giving old response. It is not giving last line which we added. AWS Lambda function we are a new feature, because this CloudFront distribution is always returning response with low latency from near edge location from cache. Okay, until uh, like generally it is serving from the cache. So we need to invalidate the CloudFront distribution case. So from CloudFront distribution, we need to go to invalidation section, and we need to create invalidation. So whatever content cached, so if we give here /* means it will invalidate all the files relevant to CloudFront distribution. Okay, so I'm creating invalidation. So it will invalidate the caching file. So it will take a fresh copy, and then it will serve the fresh one when someone accesses it instead of old one. So as soon as this invalidation process done, it will give us a updated response whatever we added this last line in this two case also, like in our custom domain and distribution case. Okay. Okay, so you can see like in distribution invalidation, it's showing now completed. Now if we hit this our custom domain topfreecost.com, it will show here last line. Okay, this is a new added line in our Lambda response, AWS Lambda function URL new feature. So now it's displaying that line because we invalidate the cache, so it will taking the latest response returned by Lambda function. Okay, so here same way CloudFront distribution domain also giving that updated response now after invalidating the cache. So this way you are able to implement end-to-end functionality to map your AWS Lambda function recent launch feature, AWS Lambda function URL mapping with your custom domain. Okay, so here you can see like this is our custom domain running, giving a response from our Lambda function, that function URL mapped through CloudFront distribution, and a custom domain DNS mapping done through Route 53. Okay, so let me fast forward the things. So here we first created a Lambda function with enable the function URL. Okay, and after that we have created in Route 53, we have created hosted zone. In hosted zone we have As soon as we added a hosted zone for our custom domain, we have custom domain ready. So as soon as we added hosted zone, we get the NS record. This NS record we copy to like third party, in my case GoDaddy. So I copied this to GoDaddy's name server for that particular domain, custom domain, okay, for mapping purpose. And after that, uh, we also created a certificate uh, in certificate manager in US East 1 region, because that is a requirement for CloudFront distribution. We requested this publish certificate, and we validate this certificate and added a CNAME record for Route 53 for this particular domain, okay. uh, and apart after that, also what we did is we created that CloudFront distribution. In CloudFront section, we did created this CloudFront distribution. In CloudFront distribution origin, we given the Lambda function URL. Without that HTTPS, remember that. And in origin we given that, as well as uh, in SSL certificate, we selected certificate which we created in US East 1 region, and also we added a domain, alias domain, our custom domain which I having. So these two things we updated, and as soon as this update is done, after that in Route 53 at the end we added one A record for a mapping our custom domain with CloudFront distribution, okay. So that way we complete end-to-end flow. Here you can see this our custom domain mapped with our CloudFront distribution, okay. So this way our demo like this, our topfreecourse.com custom domain is returning the Lambda response through AWS function URL, like so. So we have a desktop custom domain, like we have this topfreecourse.com custom domain mapped to Route 53 to CloudFront distribution, and CloudFront distribution is mapped to Lambda function URL that recent launched new feature. Okay, hope you get the idea about this full hands-on demo, and uh, feel free to share this session with the wider community throughout the world. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Please subscribe so I will get more encouraged to doing this kind of more technical session for a wider AWS community. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your time.